episode 42, and we've got Rachel from Evolve and Shine. I am really excited about this, and let me tell you why. Because I live in a world of limiting beliefs. All the time, every day, wake up, here we go.
Don't we all?
We do, don't we? And are they beliefs from, suppose, growing up? Like what we're told we should be?
Yeah, so our brain is made up of 5% conscious mind, 95% subconscious. And up to the age of 7, we are absorbing everything that is in our environment. So if something happens to us, we create a feeling, so we have a thought, we create a feeling, and then that goes into our subconscious as a meaning, as a belief.
Right.
So even if it's not true, we still have those thoughts in our subconscious mind.
And they are the thoughts that dictate
Our patterns, behaviours, actions, when we don't realise it.
It's incredible, really, isn't it? So if we go back to your story and your journey, before we get into, I suppose, the nitty-gritty of what it's about, is how did it come about for you? So how did you get to this?
So my background is actually finance, and I worked in corporate for many years. And I was in a finance role at the time, travelling 2 hours each way to Todmorden and back from Stoke.
Wow.
And I went for a promotion. There was me against this guy, and the guy got the job.
Fuming.
Yes.
How dare it? Not today, thank you.
So he got the job instead, and I was sat on the M62 on the way home. My 10-year relationship had just broken down because I was working so much. I got turned down for the promotion. I'm now a single mum, and I've had enough. I was worn out, burnt out,
Yeah.
I'd just had enough, and I'm like, it's got to be better than this. So I sit up in bed the next morning, and I saw my first mentor, Maya Hewitt, and she had this book and this program called Meant for More, and I bought the book and I read it, and at the back of it was her email address, and I thought, well, I'll email her and nothing will happen. I emailed her, and then she called me.
Really?
Yeah, and we
It's
had
all
a
meant
chat.
to be.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everything
Trust,
is.
trust in that entity.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's incredible.
Everything. So I then went through Maya Hewitt's course, and it was so funny. I'd got so many limiting beliefs, so many blocks. She even had to clear one with me about money for me to actually invest in myself, because I would not pay the money to invest in myself. So once we cleared that, I went through her course, and that started off manifestation. So she showed me that my thoughts were creating what was happening externally, and the feelings to go with that. I was to look at the feelings, then I'd identify the thought, and then I knew what the belief was. So I'd already started doing the work then. But what really kicked off my journey was when I was watching 50 Shades of Grey.
Can we just take a moment for Christian Grey before we get into the serious parts, because I just like looking at him. just carry on now.
Beautiful man.
I'm
Manifesting.
Beautiful
I'm
man.
manifesting.
I think
Christian Grey.
I've married him somewhere. In this room, I've already married him.
You never know.
He
He
wants
might be
me.
a band member.
He'd be my band member anyway. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I love
that's
it.
serious. Watch Christian.
So I'm feeling a bit lonely on my own, so I watch 50 Shades of Grey. And as you do, you get really emotional about it,
Yeah.
crying, but you're putting yourself in Anna's shoes in 50 Shades. And then I watched the movie, turn the telly off, opened my phone and started scrolling Bumble.
Bloody Bumble. We've just spoke about Bumble as well. Honest to God, it's a nightmare.
This is a story, be careful what you watch.
Really? Well, not if it's Christian Grey on Bumble.
No, he wasn't,
Oh.
but it was very similar. So I go on Bumble and I match with this guy. And I turn up to his house because we had occasional meetups, and this went on for many years.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
many years. We had occasional meetups, and every time we met up, the 50 Shades music was playing.
Oh wow.
No word of a lie.
Behave, really?
Yeah. So I knew then, and I'm like, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like, how did that keep playing? But then he started showing emotional traits, like Christian Grey did in the film.
Good grief.
the mummy issues and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Now, this guy doesn't actually know this story. That he was a manifestation, but he knew my mentor now. So he actually, when I said to him 2 years in, where's this going? And he said, who wants a woman with a child?
Good. Like,
Yeah, that was the lowest point I think I've ever been.
because that is hard, I think, as a single mum, is sometimes we do go through them thoughts of actually, would somebody want me with children? I think a lot of women will go through that. So for a man to say it is like reconfirming that information.
But the best bit about it was, I knew I was thinking that. I'm aware of my thoughts at this point. I'm aware of my feelings. As soon as he said it back to
It's
me,
mirrored.
I emotionally was triggered, like I broke. Everything just broke. And I was emotionally triggered, but then I was like, I have been saying this to myself.
So he was just mirroring.
So he was mirroring.
Who was your mirror?
So this brings me on to the self-reflective universe. So everything we are thinking and feeling, we are creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just
all
stop
the
you
time.
right now? Because what's even more bonkers is that I've been doing work around this week
Oh yeah.
and listening to a book that's saying exactly the same as what Rachel
So
and it's like
That's for a reason.
everything happens for a reason. I feel like I need to fall backwards off the sofa because that's like, it gets a bit scary, doesn't it, sometimes? Because
yeah, I think it's
things
like
happen,
when-
I'm
It's
like,
like a realization.
that there's something beyond. Like, I feel
Yeah.
a bit emotional because like things started happening, and it's really quite eye-opening, isn't it? So when you're talking like this, and I'm thinking, good grief,
I've been
I've been listening to this
Yeah.
all week. Do you know what I mean? Also, I don't think press record.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Press record quick.
You
Hold
cut
on.
that out.
No, you can't. People like the real nitty gritty of it.
I can send it written.
Yeah. So again, the universe is working all the time with us.
If she falls off this sofa in a minute.
Yeah. So,
So basically, what is in our inside is reflected on our outside. Okay, so if we feel we're not good enough, we are going to attract situations that are going to show us we are not good enough. In my instance, I was thinking and feeling who's going to want a woman with a child, and it couldn't be any more damn obvious than to say, who wants a woman with a child?
Yeah.
Like that was smack in the face.
Yeah.
You've just created that.
Yeah, you've put that out there, haven't you?
I
You've
think,
put that out
yeah, and it's so true because
for him. He's felt like
I've attracted
him.
because of what you're
to mirror that back.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then for you to do the work around,
Yeah.
she's mirrored it. Yeah.
100%. So everything is there to help us to grow. Right? So what more
Yeah.
could we ask for?
Yeah.
Direct feedback consistently
Yeah.
for us to grow to become the best version of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had moments it just feels so bonkers, like because I think I've attracted men as a reflection of me because I don't feel worthy of love, so I'm attracting that.
Yeah.
It's so true, so true, so powerful.
But what's even more powerful is that you can change that. Like that, it's there to show you so you can change that.
Yeah, so it's what you do with that. So when that trigger comes, I suppose, so for example, I went out for a walk with a guy and he triggered so many wounds. He absolutely come to trigger me, and that's fine. It was hell. It was hell. But I also know I needed him for that lesson. And it's what you do in that lesson, isn't it? It's what you do in that trigger, and is it sitting with it? Is it like, because it's real. It's real.
It's
Feels
real.
like I was reliving a trigger from 20 years ago. It was still there, the raw pain. It wasn't him that he'd come to bring it up. It wasn't him that had done what had come up. He brought it from 20 years ago, ready for me to heal it. But in that time, I just felt like I'd gone back to that 20-year-old girl again,
Mm.
and I didn't know what to do with her. I was like, it was hard. It's really something that I've had to really dig deep with, and really like, it took quite a few weeks to bring myself back out of it, because it takes you to a dark place as well.
But the best thing to do is don't block them off.
Mm.
Like, those feelings are your compass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there for a reason, and they're there to show you. Now, the first thing is, what story are you telling yourself?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first question to ask, what story have I got around it?
Mm.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to find why it's triggering you.
This is so, I feel like I'm in a session. Like, it feels really powerful. Like, what is the story? And I actually did. I did sit with it, and the story that I was telling myself is that I'm not good enough, and that was the story that 20-year-old girl felt.
Mm.
That I am not worthy or good enough. So that's what that trigger was about.
But it could have even been before that.
Absolutely.
Like, that 20-year-old self was feeling it then. You remember it then. Yeah, but a lot of the times, like, we're told something as kids, and we absorb that.
Yeah.
Like, my son's nearly 8, and I've just watched him absorb everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to his handwriting. Like, we'll explain Psych K in a minute, but I did Psych K with my son last week around his handwriting, because he says it's not neat enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, again, like, from my degree, you learn that it's so crucial in them early years, isn't it? We don't get it right, don't get me wrong, we don't all get it right, but it's like the blueprint of your life. It's like everything that happens to you in them years, you become that adult. And that's like, for me, in my journey, it was hard. You know, I've had some hard times growing up, and I could see why I was the way I was in my 20s, and it's coming back to unravelling all that and getting rid of all them layers of my beliefs and limited beliefs, and you know, and I think so many people will relate to it as well, because we've just spoke on the podcast, one we've just done is about the coats. We put coats on throughout life: be this way, act this way, look this way, be quiet, and then we're walking around as adults with no idea of actually who we really are beyond all these beliefs.
Correct, we've put all them layers on. It's like, you've got to take off 50 coats. To
Yeah.
try
Not
and-
50 million. Could be 50. Surrounded by them, just a coat shop.
Do you know the worst thing is, though, that we all think we need to be fixed?
Yeah.
Right? We don't need to be fixed. We've just got subconscious beliefs, that's all it is. Yeah. But we feel like we have to be fixed. So point one is, we stop telling ourselves we have to be fixed. And we then go, okay, so now let's clear what needs to be cleared.
Yeah.
So let's stop saying we need to be fixed. We don't need to be fixed. But society makes us believe we need to be fixed, or we've got to be a certain way, you've got to look a certain way, you've got to be this way. So it's hard, isn't it, in a world, and a lot of, especially women, we're so surrounded by, you've got to be this way to fit in. You've got to do that. And again, I think with my work that I do on myself is coming back to my core. I want to come back to who I truly am, beyond all that. And I'm thinking Psych K is about to change my life.
Yes.
Don't you,
Change
Simon?
mine, yeah.
I think we're going to be like new people by tomorrow. I'll be like, here she is, Sarah Luby.
Absolutely.
Again, you know, I don't know if you saw my picture that I put on Instagram, where I've got hardly any clothes on, and
Beautiful picture.
yeah. So, but the limited the beliefs around that and how I was going to be perceived were huge. But I thought, you know what, I'm not letting you win today. And I went and posted it, and then just like lay down on the bed like,
Text me, Susan's gonna kick
my mum's
off.
what's my mum going to say?
Susan's gonna kick off.
But it's again challenging it, isn't it? I was
Yeah.
like, no, not today, Sarah. You put it on there and then turn your phone off and just lie down and hope for the best.
See, what's the worst that can happen?
That
Yeah.
you empower people, and I always
So that's the best.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
What's the
the
worst that
worst.
can happen?
There's no worse, is there? Because I always come back to my why. Why do I do what I do?
Yeah.
My why is important. My why is to always empower people to be the best versions of themselves. So in that moment, posting that, I said, Sarah, I have to talk to myself all the time. Why? Why are you doing it? And the reason is because I know that everybody deserves to be the best version of themselves. So I went post and then lay down.
I love it.
Horizontal.
And in my phone.
I love it. Love
I
it.
know.
So yeah, after I found my mentor, I went through his program and it just transformed my life. I identified all my limiting beliefs and blocks around money, relationships, love, forgiveness. I learned how to forgive properly.
That's even more weird. We
Okay.
just spoke about
Yeah.
that. That's really
Literally, yeah.
And it was literally a 6-month complete transformation, and then I signed up to be a trainer for his
Wow.
program because I just loved it so much.
Yeah.
And then as I was going through that, I'd set the intention that the belief changing isn't happening fast enough. Like I felt like I had to dig, and I didn't want to have to dig. I was quite impatient at the time, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want them to change like this.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to a woman who taught me Psyche.
Do
Okay.
you ever feel when you're digging that you're bloody digging forever? I feel like how
I
far
did.
am I
Yeah.
digging? Like how far down do I go?
But that's the
Yeah,
thing.
sounds-
With a subconscious belief, you can clear one, right, and it might actually impact 5 or 6.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I found Psyche, that then transformed everything. And I managed to 6x my salary in 6 weeks. Got the dream job at the time of running businesses. And I did that for a couple of years and I absolutely loved it. But the bit I loved the most was sitting down with the staff and letting them tell me everything and then giving them a new perspective.
Yeah.
It must
I
be
just
such a great, powerful feeling, and like to know
loved
what you're
it.
doing.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But that's the thing, I'd never run businesses before. So when I went into it, my growth spurt was like that. Because the reason I wanted to manifest that, because it was the exact amount of money that was in my manifestation, was to run businesses because I wanted my own one day.
Yeah.
So if I could do it with somebody else's money first,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that would be a lot easier.
Completely stupid.
Absolutely.
So then I did that, but as I was doing it and I was working with people on the side with Psyche and coaching, I loved it so much. And I said, and I'd got those feels and I'd got the call in that it's way bigger. It needs to go way bigger than it is. So time to leave. So I literally, January this year, yeah, I left. And everybody was like, "You're doing what?"
Yeah.
This is the thing, people like, I've just been talking about that, like people sometimes look at me like, she's having a midlife crisis. She's absolutely midlife crisis, but it's not, it's an awakening. Like, I was brought up to believe, like, that people in the late 30s, women, like, we're definitely having a midlife crisis. But now I've learned, it's actually people waking up and just saying, I'm going to live my life exactly how I want it. So, no thank you to midlife crisis. It's an awakening for anybody listening.
100%. 100%. But it is, so I took the leap, and then it's just been one synchronicity after another. It's been beautiful.
And does it almost feel like it just flows?
Yeah.
And does a lot of it come down to listening to your intuition?
100%. And working on that is what I do with my clients. There's 3 things that we work on. Is your intuition comes in line with the other 2. Okay? Because the more you go inwards, the stronger your intuition is.
Mine's really powerful. Especially around men at the minute. Goodbye.
Like a Vadar.
I've got bad vibes, really.
But I think it's a good question to ask you, actually. I don't know if it's my intuition or my trauma. So if he's a decent guy and I'm being triggered because he's emotionally available, because I'm more conditioned to emotionally unavailable. So I don't know if it's me trauma or my intuition, and how do I differentiate between the two? Because, so say for example, I went out with a guy and I was really triggered. I don't know if he was triggered because he was just so emotionally aware, or I was triggered because he's bad news. And I couldn't.
You'd have to ask yourself. Yeah? If the feeling, right, you were thinking and feeling triggered related to something from your past,
Yeah.
then it probably just was the trigger. But let's say, for example, you know when you go by a needy man,
Absolutely.
right? Because you can feel that energy,
Yeah.
yeah? With this emotionally available guy, he might just be emotionally available, but was he needy?
Yeah, it's so odd. This is where
Yeah.
I'm coming at, because I'm attracting different men because I'm more healed, and then I sometimes think, am I being triggered because I'm not used to that sort of man? Do you know what I mean? It's really difficult to be able to tell the difference between, but people always say when you meet a decent man, you'll just feel safe.
Yeah.
So no thank you to I've gone with me gut and no thank you.
But also, unless you've not changed that subconscious belief, then that's still going to keep showing up in your outer world to go, hello, you're not dealing with me.
And this is what keeps happening. It keeps appearing. It keeps going.
Yeah.
And it does. Oh my god, it's so frustrating because I know where my blocks are so much. I know what I'm putting out there. I know in my mind what I'm putting out there in regards to what I think I'm worthy of. And that is coming back to reflect me.
Yeah.
And that's because, so I've been thinking about it a lot actually, and I think I've got to do some really inner work around it because I'm attracting what I believe I'm worthy of. And that's really sad, isn't it? But it's also the truth.
I wouldn't look at it as sad because we have to be kind to ourselves.
Yes, actually, yes.
100%.
Yeah.
There's nothing sad about you being reflected back something to go, here's what you need to be a better woman. Here's what you need to be true to yourself. Like, that is absolute gold.
Actually, I twist the mindset around it is actually that is a chance for me to go deeper and to say, I want to allow a healthy love into my life. And to do that, I need to understand that I'm worthy of that.
You need to believe
I need to believe that. And do you know what? I absolutely don't. And that's the truth. And that's why these people keep reflecting back to me. And that's why I think I've shut off from dating as well. Because it's like, again, the worthiness around it.
See, the other thing is we are all vibrating at a certain frequency, right? We're made up of atoms, and 99.99999% of those is empty space. That empty space is energy. So you imagine how much of this, if that 99.99999% is all energy vibrating at a frequency. Your thoughts are what that frequency is, because it goes thought, feeling, frequency. Okay?
So powerful.
So then, you then can learn to raise your vibration. So let's say, why do people say practice gratitude in the morning and really feel it? Because you're raising your vibration.
Yeah.
Exactly the same with like the things that we can do. One, what's the story we're telling ourselves? Two, am I making time to actually change my vibration, to raise my vibration? What can I do to raise my vibration? I'll do gratitude in the morning. I'll listen to binaural beats so that I can raise my frequency. There's lots of things we can do, but it's whether we're going to make the time to do it.
Yeah.
Do you get that? Because I think I start my day off quite low, and I need to, and I do the journaling and stuff, but I don't think I lift my vibration up. I think that's something that I really need to think about, because another thing for me, I don't know about you, Zara, is like I am very easily can be this higher version of myself, like podcast, but I quite easily revert back to that, what are you doing a podcast for? That version of myself.
Yeah.
So, which would be a low vibration, I suppose. For me, it's like, how do I get back into that high vibration? And would that be, again, I need some advice of how to stay or raise my vibrations, especially in the mornings, especially when I'm due on my period. Good grief. I'm in the depth.
Exactly. The question is, if you get up in the morning and before you've even left your bed, right, you think about 5 things you're grateful for. Even start with 3, right, and write them down. But when you write them down, don't just go, oh, I'm going to do my gratitude list and I don't feel anything. Really feel it. And I mean like get it bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you're really grateful for, like, I do it for my son, so I get up in the morning and I'm like, I'm thinking of his face and how he acts, and I keep feeling and keep feeling and keep feeling. Then the second thing, keep feeling.
Yeah.
So that I've raised my vibration before I've even left my bed.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That has, as simple as it is, that has such an impact on your day because you're starting it at that level. Then throughout the day, like that question, what story am I telling myself?
Wouldn't you believe the stories I tell myself?
Oh, trust me.
What
I
stories
do.
do you tell yourself? That she works far too hard. She honestly, don't you? She's amazing, super woman. But it's true. It's like, what stories do you tell yourself? Like for me, it's absolutely some days batter myself. I wouldn't even say them things to somebody else. So why am I saying them to myself? And I think, you know, people do, we do naturally. For me, it's just my normal dialogue is to not see of everything that we are doing, the positives, you know. Zora works full time with mum. We do all these positive things, like all I see sometimes is the negatives and actually not the positive things that I'm doing. And that's like something that I'm really coming up against. The more I push outside the box of the norm is, oh, what are you doing? Come back. Come back in. You're not safe out there doing different than what you've been told to do. And I'm up against it day in, day out. Every time I push myself outside the norms, I've got my whole body telling me, stop.
Which is where cell inertia comes in. So our cells are used to feeling a certain way. So if we're used to being in a comfort zone all the time, as soon as you go out of that comfort zone, your cells are going, oh, what are you doing? I don't like this feeling here. Go back this way, which you're then there getting the thoughts that, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? But if you're aware of that, and you know, oh, all right, cells, no, we're going this way.
I start talking to myself.
As
well as everything else. We talk, it's
bloody boy next door's going to think.
My neighbour must think, who's she talking to?
But you know what's amazing? You are aware of what you are thinking. Most people are not aware of what they're thinking.
I look at them, so like I've done a lot of work around knowing that actually I'm not my thoughts and I can look at them. The problem is I look at them and then I still go down the wrong avenue. Do you know what I mean? I'm still like trying to, it almost feels like I am rewiring my brain. No, I am rewiring my brain. And it's almost at times really exhausting. And this is the reason why we do the podcast, is for people to understand that there is different, and for me to learn that there is different. So I do all this work and I can see the times that I'm battering myself. I can see the thoughts. I just haven't yet quite found how to declutch from them, to say, no thank you, we're not that. I sort of run with it sometimes, a lot of the time. So
see, if we have a program running, that's where Psych K comes in.
Right.
So let's say all these thoughts are around, I am not worthy. Okay, so a lot of them are coming from that. You can reduce the amount of noise by using Psych K. And how that works is, I work one-to-one with clients where I can muscle test to see whether they believe a certain belief. Okay.
What's a muscle test?
So muscle test is another word for it is kinesiology. So have you ever seen it where people have an allergy and they go for an allergy test? And they eat something and then they push against somebody.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, so they do them now where, say for example, you'll eat something. Maybe I'll give you a glass of red wine.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then I'll get you to push against with your leg against my hand.
Really?
Right? But I'll have muscle tested you before you drank the wine to see whether it was a strong response or a weak response.
Oh,
Okay. You do the same with beliefs. So when I was on holiday, I came out in a terrible allergic reaction on my forehead. I'd seen this company in Manchester and they'd given me this sun cream and they were like, here's a free bag and here's some sun cream. And I went on holiday, started getting a little bit red and I thought, oh, I'll put some sun cream on. And then when I got back, I was thinking, what what can I feel on my forehead? And my forehead had swelled up to 3 times
No.
the size when I got back. And I was on my own, so I'd got James, just me
Yeah.
and James. So I thought, right, I'm gonna have to find out what it is. So I muscle tested all my products in my bathroom. And there was one product, which was this sun cream
That they flogged you.
that they flogged
The-
me, yeah, that they gave me as a freebie.
Freebie.
Then I muscle tested all the ingredients, and it was manufactured vitamin D that had
Oh,
given
wow.
me the allergic reaction.
Oh, really?
That was the only thing out of the whole thing that tested weak.
Wow.
So I do the same thing with beliefs. So if you gave me a certain goal statement and said, right, I want to see if I believe this, then we'll muscle test it and I'll be able to say yes or no. And how it works, I do it for you because we normally be on Zoom. So I connect to your superconscious, which can then, your subconscious then tells me true or false.
God's grief.
So is this how you've done, so how did you do it with your son with the handwriting? I'm intrigued to sort of, how does that work?
I did
So
the same
he's-
thing. So I
Yeah.
connected to his superconscious.
Yeah.
I asked permission, which is the whole part of the process.
Yeah.
Connect to the superconscious, and then I tested to see whether he believed the new statement he wanted.
Yeah.
So I believe I have beautiful handwriting and I write like, I can't remember what the exact one was, but we
Yeah.
did that, and then I muscle tested and he didn't. So then we did the process. So you run through a balance process that takes you into a whole brain state, because very often we're either operating from left or right brain.
Yeah.
So it puts you into a whole brain state where you can access the subconscious, implant the new belief, and then done. Like that.
That is just.
And that's the Psyche, how the quick, because
How it
digging
happens so
digging
quick.
deep and things like that is, it is very with the retraining of your brain, but that takes,
It's an instant rewire.
yeah, it takes a long time to do that, doesn't it? Is it so many, you have to say things so many times to actually, but sometimes that's,
So this is interesting. I've been playing around with affirmations for years, and that was
Yeah.
my whole point. My
yeah,
affirmations aren't changing it. Nothing's changing with an affirmation
yeah,
until I changed subconscious beliefs with Psyche. Because
yeah.
you can repeat anything all you want, but if your subconscious, which is
Doesn't
95%, doesn't
Yeah.
believe it, then it's not gonna
That's how
stick.
I struggled. I kept saying things, you know,
I'm
I
worthy.
haven't, I'm
this
worthy,
and that,
I'm
yeah.
worthy, I'm worthy, I'm thinking it's not
And your brain's
changing.
going,
But
don't think so.
yeah,
No,
because it's not
because it's deep,
strong enough, is it? You've not,
deeply rooted into
Yeah.
it. And I think when I did my degree, there's such a thing. Your subconscious mind is so powerful. Like it will just dictate. And you also, your brain is so powerful. Like it really is. Like for me, feels like this was all meant, because I'm on that journey. I'm also like at a pivotal point, I feel like, where my life's changing, it's evolving outside the norms, and my body, my cells are absolutely going berserk. And my natural reaction is to pull back and go back into that little box, and you're not worthy of this, you're not worthy of that. So Psyche has just come and it's just going, is very much, very much needed. And I think, you know, so if people can't afford Psyche, or to what can they be doing at home, I suppose, to lift the vibrational,
yeah, just
and just like, you know,
vibrations
the
and
work that they
things.
can be doing around the site. Is there anything they could be doing?
So, exactly what we said before, right? We've got to become aware first. First step is awareness.
Yeah.
So if we can catch ourselves
Yeah.
with the self-talk and then ask what's the story I'm telling myself, then very often we can identify what the problem is at that point.
Yeah.
So would it be, say, I don't know, so I'm worthless, catch that thought.
Why do I think that?
Why do I think that? Journal, would you journal around it?
Correct, yeah.
Journal
So-
around it.
My morning routine is I get up in the morning and I do gratitude. I journal because at that point in time, your brain's still in alpha state. Okay, so your brain waves are still low enough for you to divulge everything. So I literally just let my pen go.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll start with a load of crap. I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. But then stuff will start coming out. Yeah, so I'll do that in the morning and then I'll meditate in the morning. And I'll do 20 minutes, half an hour. If I can do more, I will, but generally we're busy, aren't we? And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
busy lives.
Yeah.
But also I'll find that just by silencing ideas pop up.
My brain is so busy.
Mm.
Like, I think I've got 1,001 Google tabs open.
Mm.
And it's almost like trying to reprogram that as well, that, you know, it's in the, I was reading Florence Given's book, Women Living Deliciously. It's incredible.
I've not read that.
Yeah, and she's talking about, we run at such a fast pace in life that we stop, like when we go for be still, I suppose we sit and have a cup of tea, we're scrolling on a phone. Or we go and just do something, but we're always filling the void. Actually, how about not filling the void and sitting with yourself and sitting with that space? So that's when ideas come up, that's when you become creative, that's when the things... But life is just so busy, isn't it? We're so in this hustle and bustle that we've got to keep doing and not just being still with ourselves.
But that was the point before as well. Are we actually going to make time to improve ourselves? Yeah. My
That's it,
story at
isn't
the
it?
beginning, when you say can people afford Site K, I ask people, what is it costing you staying where you are?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true, yeah. Yeah, it's
It's
there,
that
isn't it?
investing in yourself, isn't it? It's investing in
100%.
yourself. If you can't,
If I hadn't have paid
yeah,
the $3,000 I paid at the time,
yeah,
right, I wouldn't have 6x'd my salary.
yeah,
Took me into six figures.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't have got that without that 3K.
Yeah.
It was an investment. And
Yeah.
hence, investing in myself.
It's important, isn't it, to absolutely invest in yourself massively, like.
100%.
And I think, like, I need Site K in my life from today, every day. I need you to come live with me.
Just keep planting those
Just
things
move
in.
in. Move in.
But you
Yeah.
know what? Our minds also make it such a massive thing. Yeah, and especially when you become aware of your thoughts, because you're like, you just won't shut up.
It drives me mad.
But also, there's choice in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we become aware of those thoughts, I'm going to choose that new thought
Yeah.
and sit with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think that we haven't got choice over what we think. We certainly do.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah,
But it's hard.
but when we run those patterns, once you start to change those patterns, the thought process becomes easier. I'm in exactly the same boat as you. You know, you're pushing your comfort zone, you're going into something completely new. Your body's like, what the hell are you doing?
Absolutely. What? Oh, Sarah, get back in that box.
But you know your why.
Yeah.
Just like my why.
Yeah.
Like, I know this is going to impact so many people's lives
Yeah.
that it has to be out there and big.
Yeah, and the thing is, and that's why I suppose our why for the podcast is, this is to share different for people. And I think it's always coming back to why. Why do you invest in yourself, and why do you want to, and what is it? So for me, it's my boys. What do I want for them? Like, I want different for them. I want so different for them. So by investing in myself and doing the work on myself, I give better. And I always speak about that so much, is that the more we put into it, and it's hard again, but it's choice, making that choice. You know, we can make time, you know, 30 minutes before the kids wake up, you know, there's them choices that you know, we can make that time for ourselves, and it just pays off so much, doesn't it? When I left my relationship after 16 years, I had no idea of who I was. I was a mum, obviously. Did I show up the way I wanted to for my boys in them times? No, because I had no idea who I was. And now I think I try and get out there to people. The more we don't have to just give. The more we can look after ourselves, even in the smallest things, it just benefits so much, doesn't it?
Yeah. We can only give from a full cup.
100%.
Yeah.
If we don't have a full cup, what's going to happen to our reserves as we give? I've got nothing left.
The ship goes down.
Yeah.
I always say that with the people I work with, and you know, you're the captain of the ship. If you don't look after yourself, everything goes down with it. And I think we are so conditioned as women to keep giving, and then we crash. But actually, like, I am so here for just empowering people to choose themselves, not in a selfish, you're not being selfish choosing yourself either. I think that's another thing we think, oh well, can't do that because I've got kids. Actually, you can, because your kid, you'll give better to your children by choosing yourself.
There's a lot of influences in our subconscious from outside. Okay, I don't watch the news ever.
No.
Yeah, I banned it from my life
I don't think I don't watch the news.
because it's just fear mongering.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything, even down to like WhatsApp groups. I mute them. It's a distraction. Yeah, and what we feed ourselves, social. Don't scroll social.
No.
And I know that's excessive in these days because a lot of people like scrolling social. But then have pages on your social that are feeding you, not taking away.
Your algorithm.
Drama.
Yeah.
Drama. I don't have any drama in my life, and I don't have people in my life who are drama.
Yeah.
Gone.
Because you become what you put out there and what you feed yourself into. It's like
100%.
I think you do, because it is like, you know, when you're younger and things, life's full of drama, but actually I don't think we have any drama, but that's probably because we aren't, when you're not that sort of person and you choose not to accept that, you just don't.
Yeah, it's boundaries.
But it also becomes an addiction. Yeah, the drama, the feeling of drama can become an addiction.
Yeah.
And
It's just making that choice.
And it's about what you've been conditioned growing up. So like the children that I work with and some of the families it's chaos. So that they're drawn completely to chaos all the time. I feel like in my younger years I was just drawn to chaos because it's what I was used to. So I think it's again making them, it's hard to make them changes and change the way you are. But now I love the calm, but that's taken a hell of a lot of work. Do you know what I mean? Goodbye to a hell of a lot. A goodbye to the drama, and I think, you know, it's about, again, I think, always coming back to your truth. What is your truth? And all I want to be able to look back on in my life is to say, I became the version of myself that I was always meant to be. What am I here for? And it's quite powerful, isn't it?
It is. It is, because I didn't know what I wanted at the beginning. What did I want? I went down the route of running businesses. And then I had this massive realisation that the only reason I was running businesses was to get my dad's validation.
Yeah.
Because as a child, he was always working away. So I never got the attention. I even remember being in his office one time and he was kind of like brushing me off. Like, let's just say I'm busy, sweetheart, later. So I started running businesses going down the same route as him.
To get his
validation. But I realised that at 36.
Honestly, it's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like an awakening. It's like...
It just came as an inspiration. Like, that's why I'm doing
This
what
is
I'm
why.
doing.
Yeah.
Even though I'd disguised it as the fact that I wanted to get the experience running businesses. No, you didn't. You wanted his validation.
Yeah.
The child in me still wanted
that
it.
inner child. Honestly, I do a lot of work around my inner child as well.
When I changed that belief, that was like, now I can go and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So moving forward, so how do we go about if we want a session with you? So for people, because I think I'm 100% be having sessions. Like, I am here for it. So I think it's really powerful.
It is. It's huge.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've created a program called Become Unstoppable, which encompasses 1, raising your vibration, and 2, changing the limiting beliefs. Yeah, so we reprogram the beliefs over a 3-month program. So I'm launching this next week.
This is exciting.
For the first 3 clients, they get a discount. Okay, and it's a chunky discount.
First 3 clients get a
First 3
discount.
clients.
I'm number 1.
1,
2, and so whoever the third one is, but we're having the first dibs. Absolutely.
And what we can do is we can put a link in the video, if that's okay, and they can book a discovery call. Because what's good is for us to have a 30-minute free call. There's no obligation at all, but it's just one of those to say, is it a fit? Is it not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it for them?
I think we can gather that we are a fit, 100% fit, but the third person. But I think, you know what? I think, and I hope that people take a lot from this.
Yeah.
And I hope that, because limiting beliefs can just make you live inside a box forever. And I don't think we should all live inside a box, do you? No, thank you.
I can't believe the change in my life.
Really?
Over the last 7 years, it's just been immense.
And I think once you find that power and your what you know what you're about, you want to share it, don't you? Like, this is how it's changed my life, and this is what I want to do for you.
Yeah.
The thing is, everybody always used to look at me and go, she's really confident. And on the inside, I was bricking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely winging it.
I'd turn up and I'd be like, in your face, over confident, because inside I wasn't. Now,
I'm just who
I'm just who I am. I create my reality just like you and just like you.
Yeah.
We are powerful beings, and when you can tap into that,
Yeah.
you are unstoppable.
It's like Joe Dispenza, isn't it?
It's my favourite.
Joe Dispenza is unreal. So that's what. So I've been listening to Joe. I was listening to Joe Dispenza in the week. This is all like the universe. I was listening to. He raises my. So in the morning, sometimes I'll listen to him because he raises me up. Like.
Well, maybe that's what I need to do, just instead of doing
I
my
love it.
journaling, because I'm
Joe
rubbish at
Dispenza
it. I
is-
just need to have him in my ears.
His meditations are incredible.
Really?
I need
Yeah.
him living with me. And maybe he could come live with me and you.
Oh.
And you can we all live
Yeah.
together in a house.
Oh, I
So
might
what's
get on
really
him then.
fascinating is I used to wear glasses
Mm.
until I started doing Joe Dispenza's meditations. And now I don't need glasses. The story's hilarious. So I turn up to the opticians after doing the Joe Dispenza meditations, and then one day I realised I'm not wearing my glasses because I've not picked them up, and I'm like, I don't even need them. Right. So
Oh
then I
my
go to the
goodness.
opticians for the checkup, and she's like doing the things and putting the what do you call them, the lenses in. Read them. So I read them all, and she'd do them again. Anyway, she did them about 4 times, and then she turned around to me and she went, you don't need glasses anymore. I'm like, I know, I was just testing.
Yeah.
So Joe
Just see it.
Dispenza says that
Wow.
you can. It's your thoughts that make you. You can like heal yourself, don't he? He talks so.
Really?
Yeah, he does. And you know,
That's
and
how
everybody's
powerful we are.
skeptical.
Wow.
Everybody's very skeptical, and people will be skeptical
Yeah.
watching this. But I think it's very evidence based as well. I think it's proof.
Yeah.
So when I went on my mentor's last retreat, I was with 2 people who had healed from cancer on Joe Dispenza's retreats.
Really?
Like, the evidence talks for itself, and he's doing a lot of scientific work around it. You know, he's got 50 scientists now, 50
Yeah.
people working for him just to prove the science behind it. And
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's
I've read one of his books as well. I think he is quite powerful, and he's very inspired. Like in the mornings, I was having a bit of a wobble the other morning, and do you know what's even strange?
Synchronicity.
Things keep popping up on me, like watch this. Like it's always Joe Dispenza, and it's dead relatable. It's like, here comes the universe. Da-da-da. I'm going to send you some.
Yeah, definitely do.
So
Need a
yeah,
bit of that in my life.
I feel like the universe is working with us. I feel like this was absolutely meant, and I think you can change, and you will change so many people's lives. And I hope from this, everybody gets on it,
Yeah.
because I'm on it.
Absolutely.
I feel like a new woman just after
I
this.
know, I do.
Do
I
you?
like things
Come
like
on.
this. Yeah, just really.
Do you know what I
sort
think
of-
it does?
I think it's that.
Resets you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a reset button.
Yeah.
You say that actually on one of your things, don't you? On one of your. That's even more. She says reset.
Can I just say, I think it's amazing what you two are
Oh,
doing.
thank you.
Yeah, really,
Thank
really
you.
good.
And do you know what?
Even though you're telling people and you're saying how uncomfortable it is, you're still doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are, and you know what? Like, and again, it is again. We are living out of our comfort zones, and if we didn't, we wouldn't be doing this. So I am proud of us.
Yeah.
And, and I'm proud of anybody who chooses different for themselves, who chooses to live outside the box, because it isn't easy. It does not come easy. But I honestly think, like, the podcast for us is really special because we want to change things for people, but not only that, it changes us. This session
Yeah.
will have changed us. So, and what I love is that we share the journey of it. I might even share my Psych journey and show
Absolutely.
people, like, because I think like I'm here for it.
Powerful.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for
Oh,
coming
God.
on.
And please don't watch 50 Shades of Grey.
Absolutely not.
I will.
I'm not.
After knowing this.
Guess where I'll be tonight. with my Galaxy chocolate, my Space Raiders.
Swiping.
You have choice.
I've actually come off Bumble because I just spoke about this. This guy started talking to me. Obviously, they all seem a bit normal at first. Then sends me a picture in the shower, obviously that way up, with his hairy chest saying I'm like a L'Oreal advert. How did I mirror that? How did I bring him? Goodbye, Bumble. The Bumble has gone. Because I think I'm going to, until I do that work, but what I will do is watch Christian Grey, just to look at Christian Grey.
Absolutely.
Just don't get too emotional then, because you might attract that.
Yeah.
I daren't do anything, I'm just going to sit
It
in the dark
wasn't
tonight.
pretty.
I'm just going to sit in the dark, I daren't watch anything. The thing is, I watch the most is Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
I love Pretty Woman, good. And I love Pretty Woman because I love how he falls in love with her. And I know it's not the best start, but the way he looks at her and she's so vulnerable and she's just herself and he comes along and he just falls in love with her vulnerabilities. And I can feel that's what I want. So maybe.
Somebody to love you for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I haven't gone back to looking for a guy is because I don't want to meet a guy until I'm high vibe.
I'm here for that. That's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I'm still, like today, I still got triggered about the guy from
Oh,
50
really?
Shades story.
Okay.
You know, and then the weird thing is we've had it's like some sort of soul connection.
Yeah.
I went to see a psychic even to find out why this connection was so strong. But I've still got a subconscious belief there that I still need to work on.
Yeah.
You know, it's an ever changing, and until I've got rid of that, I don't want to meet somebody
No,
new.
that's
No.
like me. I'm
Yeah.
just people are coming into my life to mirror me, and I've been very mirrored by one person, but I see it as a lesson of me learning about my worth. And I've never met somebody who just absolutely triggers every part of me, but I see it as a positive, not like, oh,
Yeah.
I see it as actually it's just mirroring me, and that's the work that I need to do on myself. So then I'll go inwards rather than thinking, oh my God, what's this?
But what is that mirror? Yeah, the question to ask yourself tonight is, what actually is he mirroring?
Christian Grey. Tonight will be Christian Grey. I know that vulnerable woman who doesn't feel good enough for anybody. That's what he mirrors. And then I'm glad he's mirrored that, because that's the work I need to do on myself, because I am worthy of it all. Goodbye to them other thoughts. But Psyche is about to change our lives.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you very much. This is perhaps a long episode, nearly on 1 hour.
Oh wow.
But thank you so much for
Told you
coming
I'd
on.
go on.
Yeah. As soon as I'm going.
Do you know what? I love it because I think it's such relatable stuff, and I like it because when somebody has been on a journey and then can explain it from their journey, that's what I love about it. So yes, it is Sunday. I said it was Saturday last time, but it is Sunday, and this will be out at 4 o'clock. We best get working. Have a good Sunday. Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me. Beautiful to see you both.
Yes. Goodbye.